Hello, hello. Do you guys remember these? Well, better look would be this right here. Some time back, I made wooden panels for my trunk, and this was because of the utility I needed for my trunk. I was carrying a lot of engine pieces and just doing a whole lot of heavy lifting. Things that I did not want to just sit on the trunk. One, get the mat dirty, and two, you do have, this one's been put here just for demonstration purposes. I don't typically drive around with them. So you do have this board over here, but as you can see by the way it's jumping around, it's not very sturdy with regards to how well it can hold an engine, for example, or pieces of an engine. So I made these plywood pieces, and my intention at the time was not to drive with them all day. And people that, what I remember in an older car, I had subwoofers in the back, and since I wanted a way to secure the subwoofers down, didn't want the subwoofer sliding around, I got something like, I made a template like this, and then I was able to screw the subwoofer down using some L brackets, right? And people with air suspension, for example, I know they do things like that. You want a sturdy surface so you can hold things down, right? And your amplifier, whatever it is you're doing. So at the time, I had left mine plain. But the last video, there were just plain plywood pieces. I was not almost adamant that I wasn't going to do anything about it, because all I cared for was a utility. I didn't really care about how pretty they looked. So, but things have changed a little bit, so that's why I wanted to post an update. There's that. And then, as I said, there's that interesting color going on over there. And I was just at home, had time on my hands, and I decided to try a few different things. And I'll share what I did. So initially, when you first saw them, this is all they look like. And it wouldn't really matter, because for the most part, the way I would use it is I put them in only when I've got some heavy lifting to do, or two, I put them in there and put if it's not a dirty job, you put it in there and then you put the trunk mat over it, right? So that's how I do it. And the trunk mat is right here. So it still looks pretty decent, but has some sturdiness that the factory system does not. So generally that's what how I wanted to play it. But then I got a little creative. As I said, I got a little time on my hands, and I decided to try this while I was doing some craft projects for the kids, and got a little crazy with paint. So let's talk about this one here, because it's more accessible. It's an interesting color, honestly. I just got to admit to that. But this is how that went down. All right, so it's like 3 layers, 3 different kinds of paint over here, or 3 different coatings. One, this is the base coat right there, the brownish one, and that color is actually the color on the side of the garage and my shed. I'd call it, it's kind of barn brown, if you can say that, but it's a really deep brown. I laid that over. That was left by the guys that sold us the house, so put that down. Then I have some chalk blue. I don't know where that came from. Maybe I bought it, I have no idea. But then I put the blue over, and it had this purplish look to it. And the project that I did for the kids craft, I had the blue, then I just sprayed some white over it, so it had an interesting galaxy look to it with some clear coat. So burn red, chalk blue, and a little bit white, it was like overspray white, if that makes sense, and then clear coat, and that's it. So it's an interesting looking color for sure. This other one here, this one that I call office desk red, office desk brown, it's not cherry. This is real deep. It involves two different colors. There's black and there's burgundy, and I think it will just make sense for me to refer to it as red for now. And I like plywood and I like my projects to be raw, so you can you know, see all the stripes and striations on there. And I've been doing a lot of projects. I'm still trying to set up my my toolbox and all that, my tool board and my tool wall. So I had, let me tell you the story of how that came to be. I had pieces of plywood, and it started with these. I had an idea in my head that said, let's paint this red, then paint this one black. I saw what the colors were, then I said, well, spray the other color over on top of that. So I sprayed black on top of red, then sprayed red on top of black. And I was like, well, I don't know if I get a full picture here, but let's try it again. So I brought these other ones. So this one here was sprayed all red. This one here was sprayed all black. And then I came over afterwards and sprayed half of it with black, cover half of it with black. I think I did it this way so I could know what color was original. There you go. So I came back and sprayed this one over with black. Then I sprayed the red over this one. And I was like, you know what? This one here just looks like two different colors. None of them look natural or really good on wood. But this one here, kind of like it. So that's how the decision was made for me to end up doing this. And the outcome was pretty good. So black absorbed wherever it needed to absorb. And then I came and went over it with a burgundy spray and then clear coat. Because this was all spray paint, I had to come back and sand it, then clear coat again. Unlike this one here, because the first coat, this one here, was a brush on. It was applied by brushing. This thing is pretty, it's not exactly smooth, but way softer. The other one looked like it had hairs on it, which was disappointing because I picked this one for the fancy color because it was originally smoother. So eventually I think I like the outcome, and I decided I'll just use it as I've been using them. It's just that I was tired. There's just so much wood going on. I wanted to switch it up a little bit, make things look a little different. So do like the outcome. And as you can see from these nicks and stuff, it does get used for work. I just figured this would be a good opportunity to show an update to the video that I made some time back. And it's just a video, I guess. Nothing too special. But, you know, yeah, as long as you don't flip the other side and show how bad it looks, it is pretty disappointing. There's some learnings, there's some lessons that I learned and I wanted to implement next time I had to do something like this. One, yes, I can tell the sides apart from each other because that side's a little larger and the angle there is a little different. However, when I was painting them, it was a little tricky because thankfully I had labeled the other side, but it was going to be just, it gave me a little bit of trouble whenever I was trying to keep it straight as to what side is up. So next time I'm going to do this is I'll find a way to either have all the holes at the bottom, for example, just so that you can know, hey, whenever you're handling this thing, this is the only way up can be. Or maybe I'll have this one here, and then the right one is going to have like a hole at the top. The left one is going to have a hole at the top and a matching one here. Then the right side is going to have a hole at the bottom and another one matching here. That way it would kind of make sense every time I, just look at them. I wouldn't have to flip and look at the writing on the other side and things like that. I can just look at it and immediately say, yep, I know this is the right side up. Okay, that's it. As I said, nothing too crucial. Definitely a little different from the nature of my videos, but I do like to share some of the other projects that I get into over here as well.